How does that sound?
No, that sounds good. And when Cari joins in, we can just take it from there.
Absolutely, we can. All right. So, Andy, are you able to give me a 2-minute elevator pitch or a business blurb just to introduce yourself to any viewers that are going to come along and join our beautiful world?
Absolutely. I don't really have an elevator pitch because I don't pitch myself. So I never have done that, Michelle. Yeah, for me, I find it very uncomfortable to actually go and pitch myself. It's more like I like to connect with people. But to give a good idea of what I do, basically, I'm Andy, as you have noticed, and I'm from Perth, Western Australia, which is not very sunny today. But in terms of what I do, I'm basically the founder and the creative director of Scruffy Dog Studio. And that's a digital media studio which specializes in branding, graphics, creating brand identities like logos and business cards, then designing websites, developing websites, and then also apps for your mobile devices. And I run this business. Oh, look, someone's here! Hi.
Hello.
So I'm quickly going to wrap up. So I basically run this business with my husband, and we do stuff like SEO as well, and we do manage hosting and anything that's digital media related. So if somebody tomorrow wanted, hey, can you do me an animated logo? Pretty much we can do it. And that's pretty much what we do. Basically the business is named after my dog, Lexi. The logo is designed anyways because she's a really, really scruffy little dog, and she's dog, so we had to do it. But yeah, I've been in business for I've been in this industry for over 17 years, and then the time came when I had to start my own and go, you know what, I can do things my way, and it's okay to do it my way. There are a lot of people out there who would like to have things done my way as well. So yeah, basically took the leap, the plunge, got into it, and I love it because it's something I have always wanted to do. I love to do, and couldn't be happy. And Cari's with us now, so we can interview Cari.
Welcome, Cari.
Look at this handwriting.
How exciting. It's so lovely to have both of you ladies up in sunny Perth here.
Yes. Well, I'm a little further north than Perth, so I get a little bit more sunshine. I don't need to have like a scarf and everything just yet.
I was going to say, I was like, no, today is not so sunny here in Perth. It's a bit cloudy and it is colder. And your background there looks really divine. So I'm like, can I just borrow some of that and bring it over here?
Even with love hearts.
Oh, I know. This is where you do a lot of your recording outside, and I love it. I click in as often as I can.
I actually haven't done one for a long time. I'm not sure what brought the stop on, but something must have just gone, okay, stop now. But yeah, I'm sure they'll come back again.
I think so. Sometimes it's okay to have a stop, I think. I do that. I kind of completely switch off from social media. Not recording, but social media. And I think it's good because it's nice to have that little break. So you probably have your little stop button and it'll go back to play soon.
Yeah.
Well, you're playing already, Cari. So yeah.
I know. Maybe this is a new start.
Yes, it's a play. Ding.
Yeah.
All right, Cari. Before we go ahead, would love you, first of all, welcome to our lab. I'm really, really grateful on my behalf, on Michelle's behalf and mine, that you managed to be here today, and in spite of all the techie issues that everyone seems to be experiencing. So before we start, would you like to introduce yourself as to what you do, who you are, and all of the wonderful things about you to whoever is watching this today?
Sure. This is my stumbling block. This is me. I'm here. I'm with you. What do I do? At the moment, I work in my own business, which is just my name, Cari. Strategically having a full stop after it. and that holds in itself a lot of meaning for me, just because it was really important that was just who I am. It's the only way you can define just me. So it was really important when coming up with, where do I go from here to being able to do that. Background on me is, lots of different things, and have done so many different jobs, from, running the aquatic centre in the middle of the desert of Australia in Alice Springs to, I've lived in every state. And since being over here in Geraldton, I've had 2 different businesses. I've owned a book cafe, and I ran that for 3.5 years. And that was that came about because we came to town, and I'd gone for a walk in the morning, and I saw this amazing building, and I went, I have to have that building. And now I have to find something to put in that building. And I'd always loved books and writing, and we'd dabbled a little bit in, my parents had dabbled a little bit in hospitality. And I went, what, let's do a book cafe. And we opened this massive place. It was this huge 2-story building, and we had books, we had everything, and I cooked and I served, and I, during that time, that's when I started writing the first lot of my books. And amongst that, that time, I self-published 21 books in a year. And I just, this huge surge came for writing, and I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And then a lot more difficult then to now, because that was probably some 10, 11 years ago, and went through the process of contacting India and getting all my books printed there and putting them on a big ship and getting them all sent back here, and all that process. It was horrendous, to be honest. It was horrendous.
I can imagine.
I sold that business and ended up and bought into, I had my own business for a little while. And prior to all of this, I've always done a lot of writing. And when I was 23, I actually wrote my first book, which is the only one that's never been published. And in that, I wrote this set of, I guess, tools that I had always been using as a backlog, as a baseline for a lot of different things. And in amongst that, one of the things I really wanted to do was to get into being able to deliver that. So after I sold the book cafe, I, for a little while, was teaching yoga and running a little bit of this of these courses to young people, older people, anybody. And an opportunity came up to buy a day spa, random, and so I bought it, and I owned it for 9 years and only closed the door on that last year. And that was a huge learning curve. Brought into it a lot more of the massage and everything else, and took it down a much more wellness, holistic sort of path. And but it was fabulous for me learning about service. The 13 years of doing those 2 things has really taught me about what it is to serve a client, and to be face to face, and to create space, and to hold space, and to do all those really amazing things. So in amongst me, while I was still sort of creating and journeying on the inside, I was sort of creating and creating these beautiful spaces for everybody else. In the end, I just decided that's enough. I've done all that. Now it's time to, come out of the closet and really be me. And so I took the plunge, and I literally just closed the door of my day spa and sold what pieces I could, threw away everything else, lost thousands upon thousands of dollars. But when, if I don't do this, then I'll still be in this day spa, because, nothing else is going to make it change. Nothing else is going to make that happen. So I closed and just opened the door of myself, so to speak, opened the gateways, and began using, a lot more of the counselling and, qualifications and stuff that I have, and working towards, I guess, where I'm still, getting to that stage of being able to go, yep, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. But in amongst that, delivering, offering, counselling, doing a lot for more people.
Sorry, Cari. So do you provide counselling as well? Is that something you know a lot, or you've studied a lot and you've got good knowledge? Is that correct to say, or?
Yeah, I did a course. It took me 18 years.
Wow.
18 years. because in amongst that, you know, there were children and there were two businesses, all these things. And I was really adamant that I wanted to make sure that every piece of the counselling I put into my life and I understood it and I was it. So I guess the really huge thing for me is that, you know, a lot of times when people, you know, run a business, and you know, I guess I can say this being in business, where a lot of people, when you run a business, you can see that that's just their business. When they go home, you know, they put another hat on and they are somebody else. But for me, it was really, really imperative that who I was is who I am 24/7, at home, at work. You know, for me, the importance of that authenticity and that integrity that just runs through, that is just who I am. And so that's, you know, where I wanted it to take. I mean, I didn't plan on 18 years, but I wanted it to take time. I wanted it to really, really be the base of my values and everything else, so that in everything that I can offer to people, it's not just from my own, I guess, insight or wisdom or whatever else, but then I've also got, you know, the knowledge from the, you know, the course and everything behind me.
So, Cari, would you suggest that would be what would set you apart from any competitors that might be out there?
I guess so. I mean, I can't say how anybody else is. When I was started out in this course, it was literally starting in wellness and coaching and everything else, because I had started out, you know, the former lives in this particular one was all in health and wellness and stuff. And I have done personal training and worked with, you know, all sorts of people and created some beautiful bodies and made all sorts of things. But, you know, that was just a part of my journey and in learning about the physical side. And then the counselling was really taking on the mental side, whilst I always had the spiritual side. So for me, for here, it's really been about, like I say, there is no difference between my work and anything else. That's who I am. And so that runs through my core from, you know, from start to finish.
So, Cari, what drives you? What drives you to, you know, carry on being you? And the reason I'm asking is because often there's people who want to be that person, as in like being themselves.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're afraid to actually embrace themselves and go, right, this is me, this is what I believe in, and I'm going to push forward. So if for whoever is listening today, I would like you to share what drives you to carry on being, you know, to embracing yourself, that authentic self, and pushing it. What would you say to everyone?
I think it's probably a double-fold thing. I can obviously say, as a mum, you know, you're driven by the fact that you want to be the greatest you can be for your kids, because I want them to be better than me. I want them to be able to look and go, oh, I can be 10 times better than you, you know, and to be able to really provide that platform for them to stand on, you know. But at the same time, I have to be really honest and say that my inspiration, aside from my children, is life. I am really deeply, passionately connected to it. I have probably a different understanding and perception of it to other people, because we all do from our own experiences and everything else. But I just have this really deep faith in life and what I am, because I know that I am, you are, everybody is a component of life. And I look around and I go, all of that, that's all in me. Like I can do any one of those things, and I hold all those things in me, and I have all that. And so to me, it's just about getting up every day and looking and going, that's all here in me, and I can, you know, create and grow and become just like everyone else's other things. And I really love watching synchronicity and how life works, and drops those beautiful little things right in front of us for us to see and be able to go, wow, you know, this is amazing. You know, this is something that is exactly the same as us. Everything, you know, that you just look around. And it's one of the reasons why I love being on a bit of property, because it's really important to be able to watch things and be able to go, that's exactly us, you know. How deep did you go down in the hole that it was too deep for you to come out of? And, you know, no, okay, only go down this far, and then you can seed and sprout and grow and, you know, cut prune from here and here, because then the sun gets you and everything else can nurture you, you know, so much. So aside from my children, life, you know, I'm 100% 100% about being life and how we express that and how we give that.
So basically, would it be right to say that for someone whoever wants to like come out and accept themselves and go, right, this is me, you would say to start digging deep within and start looking around their lives and I suppose accepting whatever is happening, and then coming from that core? Would that be like a little tip you would give out to others if they were trying to, I suppose, embrace themselves and own themselves and fly with it?
That's a beautiful lead in, Andy. Well done. And I was sitting there thinking, oh, Michelle, you can answer that one. Because, well, the basis of all the stuff that I have been writing and doing, and it's funny because I only said yesterday I'm in the process of just finalising this course that I've created, and the course really stems back to what I started 20 years ago when I was, actually, I'm lying, it's more than 20 because I was 23 then. So, right back then. And, this is something that has been so in me. And when I was talking to this person about it yesterday, she said, you know what, Cari, that's really bizarre because, like, it has never gone from you. For all these years, it has stayed within you that this is what you must get out and deliver and do. And so this course that I'm creating is exactly what you just said. It's about getting back to nuts and bolts. It's really about pulling right back. And whenever I try to say to someone, it's about getting to know you, people go, oh, yeah, I know me, I know this, but you really don't. And even when I go back and quickly try to read through bits of the course to go, did I say enough in this bit? I go, oh, I forgot that. Or, I must remember that sort of thing. And I've tried to write it and it's taken a year. Clearly, I take a long time to do things. It's taken
a good thing to take time.
It's taken a year.
The best things in life are worth waiting for, I promise.
What I've tried to do in writing it is really be able to make it so that this isn't about pumping out 2 million. Note that little affirmation there of 2 million. The millions of Cari clones. This is about everybody who access this finds themselves. And so we have each individual person starting to really go, wow, this is me, and I want to be able to bring this part of me to life, and this is how I get to step up, and this is who I am. And it really goes back to looking and saying, this is who I am. These are the parts of me that I'm going to nurture and accept. These are the parts of me I can build on. And this is how I get to now love me. And in loving me, I'm happy to open the gate, open the door and go, this is who I am, and start to build a whole life.
That's really brilliant. That's awesome. Cari, can you tell us how long this course, like if somebody wanted to take this course that you're writing and when you launch it, how long would it take them to, if they wanted to sign up with you or work with you?
Yeah, look, this has been a really big debating challenge that we've had with a couple of the people who've been testing the course out with me. Because when I sat down to write it, and actually, funny story is I actually wrote it a year ago and then thought, you know what, I want this to work so much. I'm going to do a course in learning how to write this. So I did the course in learning how to write it. At the end of the course, and the course was very much from a thinking space, a thought space. And I'm from very much a feeling space. And I was like boggled. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And I put it all to the side and went, I can't touch this for a few months. I need to sort of find my way in this. And I came back, threw away what I'd written and started writing the whole lot again from a completely different perspective. And I was really strong in saying, I have to stay true to myself. I have to write this from this feeling component. I have to be able to connect on this deep feeling level for people, for them to be able to understand. And it just kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And in amongst this thinking course that I did, the answer came out that between 5 and 7 weeks is the, best time to run a course and, for a length of a course and all this sort of stuff. So I've set it over 7 weeks. Okay. In those 7 weeks, there are 12 modules. Those 12 modules have turned into 245 units. Now, what's happened is I've set it up that it's this beautiful course that drip feeds through, and you allow yourself time to do it. But the answer, a long-winded answer to your question is, I provide the course over a 7-week drip feed. You can take the rest of your life to do it. You have access to it for that long. If you are going to find you get points where you're stuck and really have to go in like I did over those 18 years and really want to pull those pieces into you and allow them to become you, then you're going to take that extra time. But it is provided over 7 weeks. I say to people, in essence, and Michelle can correct me on this, but I'm saying between each drip feed of module, you might need maybe 2 to 3 hours over that time frame if you were trying to really keep up and put yourself through it. If you can't do that time and run over time, then you're going to take your time to do it. But I am there and online and accessible, and I see when people have been online or accessed something, and I can then go in and help them stay on track. So ultimately, the person's doing the work themselves. I am there simply providing the guidance and the questions for which they answer, and then help to keep them on track for themselves by giving them, answers to their questions.
Okay, so it's 7 weeks. No, is that correct?
Yeah,
7.
Yeah.
And there's lots of little lots of units in there, but you basically are there to guide them through that. And also it's self-paced as well, if they wanted to run it as a self-paced thing, or
Yeah. So the majority of people who have been doing the course, they've found it easier to self-pace, because the reality is there's some deep stuff to have to uncover, and you've got to be in the right space and willing and all those things to be able to do it. But I feel if I don't put a limit on it, it would just be start and finish whenever you wanted to. So I feel, the 7 weeks at least provides a time frame, because if I told you start this now and you have the rest of your life to finish it, where's the urgency, or where's the commitment to that? But if I say this is within 7 weeks, but you can take your life, at least give people some form of a time frame.
That's
fantastic.
Awesome. Okay, we are fast running out of time. I've just noticed. So there's a couple of questions that I'd just love to ask, mainly for the entrepreneurs that are going to watch this.
Yeah.
You're incredibly inspiring, and your story, although it be 18 years long or longer, is exceptional. But I'd like to know if you have a big question that you keep asking yourself that you don't have an answer for. I know it's massive, and I'm asking this because in my line of work, I'm meeting people all the time that are starting to ask questions, and they're awakening. So,
you know what?
Having seen knowing where you're at, I'm just wondering if there's a big one that's sort of looming over you that you keep asking.
You know what? I've got to be really honest and say no, because number one, I don't think we always need to have an answer. An answer closes us. A question keeps so much open. So I'm never compelled to find the answer, and that allows an answer to come whenever it has to come. And generally the questions that people ask are things like, can I do this? Of course you bloody can. Am I good enough? Of course you are. Once you really get that component and understand life, that you are the component of life, how can you not? How can you not achieve? How can you not be enough? How can you not be worthy? How can you not be providing? The question that people wrongly ask is not about can I or would I or should I. It's about what is my enough and my limits that I'm putting on myself. If I'm going to tell myself that I have to be a millionaire, then I'm putting on myself that that's what is enough for me and only going to be acceptable for me. Yeah. Maybe I'm not going to be a millionaire. Maybe my enough is going to be that, I earn however much. But if I keep putting the pressure on myself that for me to feel successful or to be told that I'm good enough or be told that I'm something, that I have to reach these milestones or these limits all the time, then I'm the one who's putting that. Can I succeed? Absolutely. You already are. You're here. You know, what more do you need? You know, I can see two faces on the screen. You're wonderful women. You have wonderful, you know, husbands and families and relationships. You've got amazing children. What more is there than this? You know, you wake up every day. There's life. There's this. What we then put on top of that is the desire and expectation we want in how we express that. So you want to express that through being, you know, in Scruffy Dog or through being in the million mindset, then brings in what's enough of that, or what's going to tell me that I'm good enough at that, or what's going to bring me to that space. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people have to come back. And it's one of the biggest keys that I think business people forget, is that their business goes ahead of their own personal development. And if their personal development runs in line with their business, they will know that they are always enough.
Yes.
I agree with you on that, Cari, because I think like sometimes we just want more, and we concentrate on the wanting more, I suppose, and less on what is already there and just being content with it. And the same applies to, you know, things like being successful. People put terms to success, whereas success can be anything. It's not just about making money. It's not about, you know, having this flash car. A person can be fully feel like they're successful by, I don't know, being a great mum. You know, exactly. it takes balls to be a great mum, you know, and it's not an easy job. But sometimes, like, you know, I see that a lot, like repeated often, like, oh, you know, build your success in 10 days. But it's like, how can someone define somebody else's success? Success is not about possession. It's a lot more than that. It's a feeling. And I completely agree on what you just said. And sometimes you don't need questions. Sometimes you just have to just go with it and go, I'm just here, and I'm going to do what I need to do today and not worry about what the outcome is going to be.
I agree, and that's my question perfectly, because when people do start asking their big questions and they start seeking their truth, that's when they find people like us to help guide them, because that's our journey. That's what we're here. We're here to serve. We're here to help and assist each other be the very best version of themselves that they can be. And what a privilege is that?
Absolutely.
What more?
Nothing more.
Nothing more.
Nothing more. So in that, ladies, we do have to wrap. We haven't left much time to do that. So I'm just going to ask Andy first. How can people find you, Andy?
Well, people can find me two ways. One is actually three ways. I lied. The first is you can find me through my Facebook page, which is Scruffy Dog Studio. The other one is my website, which is scruffydogstudio.com.au. And the third one is, if there are people who are dreamers, then they can come and join me in my Dreamers Collective, which both Michelle and Cari are members of. It's not a selling group, so don't go there if you're trying to sell. Yeah, we basically love and encourage each other. So those are the three ways you can find me. Michelle and Cari, please share how we can find you guys.
Cari,
I'm on Facebook with Love by Cari, and that's the same for my website. So it's lovebycari.com, and you can find everything you need to know about me. There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to everything. It's written there. Everything's there. And if you feel inclined to step this way, yeah, I would love to be with you, and I'm always here holding you.
Fantastic. Michelle?
And I can be found at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. I am the founder, and Andy is a co-host in there as well, and Cari is one of our beautiful members. We're doing these blabs on a Wednesday as a Work Together Wednesday initiative to spotlight our members and our stars in our own community. You can find me at $1 Million Mindset. I am a mindset mentor and a home business coach and specialist, and I just love helping people switch their lights on and shine as bright as they can. And I would just like to thank you, Andy, for always being there. You're a star. And Cari, your course is unbelievable. It has rocked me to the core and put me up higher than I ever thought possible. And you're an amazing woman. You both are. It's a privilege to be hanging out with you both, and to be able to call you friends is a true honour.
Well, I think we are privileged to have you in our lives as well, Michelle, because it's just really nice to have like-minded people, and the universe does connect us. I suppose we three are talking in the first place, but it is just lovely when you can connect with like-minded people who have the same sort of vision or who come from a similar space. So yeah, I'm really honored and pleased to have met you, Michelle, and also you, Cari. I haven't met you in person yet, but I can call this in person, kind of virtual. Yeah. But
yes,
yeah,
much love to both of you, and to Dee and Lisa and everyone who I can see who's writing notes on the side. Much love to you all.
yeah, okay, guys, we would love to hear from all of you, whoever want to come on board with me and Michelle, so that we can learn about you and others can learn about you and your business as well. So send us a PM, let us know, and we'll have you next week again.
Absolutely. Shine bright, everyone, because you have no choice. And we love you lots, and we'll see you in the group. I'll be posting the recording up as soon as it's clear to do so. Thank you, Cari, for joining us.
Bye.
Bless you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.